So we are definitely watching the developments at the Hyundai and LG energy solution battery plants in Georgia, of course. The South Korean government is working to bring some 300 citizens home after they were detained by U.S. officials in an immigration raid last week. Now, this is over possible unlawful employment practices. It was the U.S. Homeland Security Department's largest single-site raid in its history and marked the Trump administration's crackdown on people working or living illegally on American soil. Now, this matter spooking South Korean companies with investments in the United States, but a possible easing of visa rules for foreign experts may be in the works. Now, in his Truth Social post, President Trump stressing that while Korean investments are welcome, companies must comply with U.S. immigration laws. He also adding that his administration will make it, quote, quickly and legally possible for Korean firms to bring skilled personnel into the United States. And, South Korea does have this free trade agreement with the United States. So what was different about South Korea's deal from some of the deals that U.S. has with countries like Canada, Australia, and Singapore is that South Korea doesn't have a specific clause around working visas. So I think that was really perhaps the very origin of this story between the U.S. and South Korea. But just the sheer visual, Marty, the powerful image of South Korean workers at a U.S. plant being shackled at their ankles and being hauled in, I mean, that wasn't really pretty, right? So I think that is making a lot of South Korean companies nervous. And obviously, this is really the message coming from the Trump administration, that president's message is powerful, that you gotta hire American citizens to work at your companies. And that is really the whole point of this whole, MAGA campaign and bringing manufacturing, bringing all these factories to the United States.
Is there a link here to what's going on with trade talks between the U.S. and Korea?
I think that's exactly where everyone's mind is at right now, just because this is happening just a few days after the U.S.-South Korea summit. I mean, President Lee Jae-myung flying out to Washington, D.C. However, he didn't get anything in terms of documents. He didn't get anything signed. So that is one reason why people believe that this may be linked to some kind of a rocky trade negotiations that South Korea is having with the United States. And also, there is this question around what's going to happen to all these people. Now, we've got South Korean government saying that the detainees who want to return home, they can voluntarily, although the U.S. government is saying that they will be deported. So this is actually, the words coming from the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary Christian Noem as well. So I think we're, getting all these different takes on all this. And I think that just clearly shows that the U.S. and South Korea, they're not talking. The communication is not very clear. The line is not clear. And that could actually be sort of extrapolated to mean that the trade negotiations are going in a challenged manner. Let's just put it that way.